Well, hello there, how are you? I've already prepped my face with Village Barber shaving oil. And my razor is going to be this. It is the new Wilkinson Sword Twist to Open razor. And in there I have a Wilkinson Sword blade. It's one of these. I believe these are made in Germany. Okay. And we'll close that shut. My soap is going to be this. It is the Valobra Menthol. It's a bar of shaving soap right there. And I've actually used a grater such as this one here in fact, to grate a little bit of that into the Yulay shaving bowl. And I've lathered on this. It is a 24mm Yaqi, the Badger variety of their Barber pole brush. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get a lather started. I hope you're doing well out there. This stuff lathers pretty good, but I used a different brush the first time I used it. Let's see how it goes with this brush. I might have made this lather a little bit thin. Go ahead and keep lathering. Good lather, just not transferring as well to my face as I would like. And I gave that shaving oil plenty of time to soak in. And I soaked this brush too. Wow, a lot of lather, just a little thin this time. My first lather was wonderful, but of course that's one I did off camera. Okay, got it in my nose there. Go ahead and get started here. I had to pay a little bit more for this. I got it off eBay. They just don't sell these in this country. They're a lot less expensive if you can get them in a store across the ocean there. Here we go, pass number 1 with the grain. Very heavy handle on this, by the way. Perhaps the heaviest handle I have on any of my, well, I don't know what I said. It's a twist to open razor. I hope I didn't say 3-piece. It's twist to open. It has a handle befitting that of a 3-piece razor or a 2-piece. Okay, switch sides here. I hope everyone had a good holiday. Mine was very quiet. The only nice thing about it, I guess, being that I had a very nice shave yesterday. Interesting so far. Yes, I've been feeling like the character in that painting the Scream, you know, that guy. Because 20th and now 21st century life can make a person want to scream sometimes. I should be deliriously happy. I have nice new shaving products. And good audio feedback. About a day and a half's worth of growth here. I took a nap earlier. I feel like I'm just starting to wake up again. rather efficient and fairly comfortable shaving with this so far. I just need to remember to be less aggressive with this because it does have a heavier handle that I can let do most of the work. Or rather, I can let the razor do most of the work since the handle is so heavy. A similar razor of another brand, if purchased at a store here in the United States, would not have as heavy of a handle or as long a one. This is a rather long-handled razor. And there are a couple of razors that I know of that you can buy at certain stores here. The Vanderhagen twist-to-open razor. And for a while you could buy, oh, let's see, it was the Micro Touch 1, very similar twist-to-open razor that was originally sold on television. The spokesman for that product on TV was the fellow that was on the Pawn Stars TV show, I think it was called, who owned a real pawn shop in Las Vegas, Nevada. Excuse me. I don't know if you can tell I've already given myself a little weeper there, but no harm done. I'll be right back and I'll lather up to go across the grain. Okay, it's time to go across the grain now. This brush I'm using, for some reason this is one of the brushes I've had less good luck with. This isn't a terrible lather, but it's not as good as the one I had yesterday, which was a very thick, nice Santa Claus beard type of lather. I noticed this one's a little thin, and I think I basically did have the same amount of water in my lather yesterday as I did, or not yesterday, I'm sorry, it was a few days ago. Yesterday I used a different soap, a cream actually, but a cream in a tub. And I don't know, it's interesting how I have some brushes that just, boy, they almost always make great lathers for me, and then some other brushes, I don't think there's anything wrong with the brush, I think it's my technique. And the good brushes I have are brushes of all sorts of, well, where the knots are made of different materials, either, oh, I don't know, boar, badger, synthetic, or even horsehair. I've got brushes, I think, of all of those types that if I use those, I don't have any problem making a lather. This one's a little thin in some areas, no problem. I'm getting good slickness and adequate protection right now. I'm going to go over here for a second and grab something. This is the box that this came in. You may have seen other vendors show you this, or you may have seen it elsewhere online. This is made in Solingen, Germany, which is known for its razors and blades. Unfortunately, this box is not meant to be kept. It's I had to kind of cut it open, and in there is just kind of a plastic, very cheap plastic insert, such as this, that held the razor and the blades. The pack of 5 blades came with the razor here. I believe it's 5. I'm going to continue shaving here. Pretty nice razor so far. And I think this blade is working well with it. It seems efficient and comfortable. Probably mild to medium aggression on this razor. Pretty standard aggression. Alright. I think if I had any complaints about this razor, it might be that the head seems flimsy compared to the handle. And I hope it's not as flimsy as a couple of inexpensive twist-to-open razors I've had, where one of them, I dropped it, and one of the doors came off, but I was able to maneuver the door back on to its little posts or whatever. But another one I had of a different brand, I dropped it, and in trying to get the door back on the posts, I broke one of the little posts, and the razor became useless. It's the only safety razor I know of that I've ever had to throw away. Pretty crazy. I really like the weight of this razor. I don't only like razors with heavy handles, but if you prefer a razor with a heavy handle, I think you're going to like this one quite a bit. Well, time to pause again, relather, and I'll be back for that third pass against the grain. Okay, it's time to go against the grain here. Oh yeah, I want to push the panic button sometimes, because when things start going really well, or at least too well for me, I either fear the other shoe, the proverbial other shoe dropping, or I turn on the evening news or just start thinking about the events of the world, and I wonder why I'm so lucky when other people are hurting, starving, being murdered, suffering, you name it. And then an argument that I originally tried to take the high road on, and then I started well, hang on a second. My neighbor Dave and I, we watched part, and by part I mean just a few minutes of a documentary about an extreme situation, the homeless people in Seattle, where the cops are not given any power over them at all, and they're able to pitch tents in front of businesses on sidewalks downtown there and elsewhere, I suppose. And it's not like they're necessarily just pitching their tents in front of a Sears or some other big store. Of course, Sears isn't doing that well these days, but that's beside the point. They're pitching their tents and panhandling in front of stores owned by, say, Korean shopkeepers and things like that, people like that. I mean, simple, I don't want to say simple as in not smart, but simple as in working class people. Hold on a second. And I had a rather draconian solution for that in mind, and my friend Dave said I was sick. Well, I just called him my friend, didn't I? I had downgraded him to associate, because I have few friends. I wonder why. Probably because I'm so damn cheery. But, no, even with my draconian solution for that extreme situation, I didn't want to, off all homeless people or anything like that. In fact, I was briefly homeless a few times, I guess when I didn't have to be, when I was just giving a break to people whose couches upon whom I was sleeping. Anyway, I'm going to pause here, come back, and I'll be lathered under the chin here, and we'll do pickups. pickup time. Yes, Dave was telling me that he was once temporarily homeless himself, but you know, he pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and he got a job working for a master chef, in fact, and became a pretty fair cook himself. Probably could be a chef if he had stuck with that. Now he's becoming a CNA, a certified nurse's aide. And me, I worked in a comedy club and several other places, etc., etc. So I think to a certain extent I pulled myself up by my bootstraps too. But when people, for whatever reason, refuse to do that, and by that I mean, well, continue to destroy themselves with drugs, alcohol, or whatever, I don't know what you do. So when I was taking the high road on this subject, I said that maybe in the future they'll be able to fix people's brains so that people will either want to be more productive or at least stay off controlled substances. And maybe they'd even be able to fix serial killers. You know, if I wake up one day and go, you know what sounds good? Well, they might be able to fix something up here in the future. So then we might not have some of these problems. Anyway, nice shave so far, and I'm going to rinse everything off, and I'll be right back with our friend, Mr. Towel. Here he is, our good friend, Mr. Towel. Ooh, yikes. Nice shave, though. Pretty nice shave for a guy that's getting all existential and so forth, if that's the right word. Or just depressing or borderline depressing or whatever. But there's a reason I call it conversational shaving. And sometimes, as in the previous video, sometimes the shaving is just incidental to the whole operation here. But, nice razor, nice shave. I put Mr. Towel back where he goes, and I'll commence with some recaps and putting the finishing touches on the shave here. Oh boy, I look like me, which is not necessarily a good thing. Well, before I began off camera, I prepped with the Village Barber shaving oil, and I let that soak in for several minutes. In fact, I went outside and had a couple of cigarettes while I soaked my brush. I've been using the new Wilkinson Sword twist-to-open razor, which is apparently only available online and at certain stores in Europe. Or England, I guess that's part of Europe. Well, the UK, the island. Anyway, shut up, Don. Oops. This, I had on its first use a Wilkinson Sword, one of the German Wilkinson Sword blades in here, came with the razor. And that was, like I said, on its first use. Okay, let's see, my soap, excuse me, has been a bar of this Valobra Menthol. Let me open that, show you if you can see okay. If I can get that open. It's wrapped in plastic, but in there, that's what the bar of soap, shaving soap, looks like. And I grated some of that off there with a grater. I first saw Paul H. use one of those grater. Oh no, hang on, excuse me. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. The great one, ladies and gentlemen. And no, he does not insist that people bow and grovel. I insist upon that, okay? I lathered up in this, the Yulay shaving bowl with the honeycombed interior. And those are really great. Let's see. Okay, now I'm going to reach in magic cabinet number 2 here. And wouldn't you know it, the Humphreys witch hazel. Oops, there goes that heavy razor into the sink there. Stay put razor. I'm going to use some of that. Pop open the cap and apply a little bit. I'm almost out of this. I got to get some more. Nice stuff. Okay. Yes, sir. Pretty nice. My face looks a little red in certain lights. Like I turn one way and maybe it doesn't look as red. It doesn't hurt or anything. And something I've had problems with ever since even when I use disposables, sometimes down here I'll get a little irritation. I think this part of my neck is just allergic to life or something. I don't worry too much about it because that too will fade and go away. I didn't have an uncomfortable shave. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm going to kind of do potluck here, so to speak. I'm going to, for my, here's something I haven't used in a while. The American Aqua Velva Classic Ice Blue. I didn't bring any aftershave in here. I've been kind of out of it, I guess. But then, aren't I always a little bit out of it? Apply some of that. I'll get it going in the hands there. Got quite a generous amount there. Put a little on the wrists too. Behind the ears, on the temples. Here I go. Some sting, but again, that just means that the aftershave is doing its job. Alright. And now, I didn't really bring any balm in here either, but let's try something different. Because I do have balm in here, just the majority of my shaving den is out there. Because there's only so much room in this little bathroom. Well, let's see. Let's try... Let's see, I got an idea here. If I can find it. Hi, I'm still here, don't mind me. One of those days, but then... If you're always having one of those days, it's either time to go see your psychiatrist or, well, whatever, yeah. Okay, let's just put that anywhere. I'm going to be using the fine, classic, well, it's the platinum, actually, platinum aftershave balm. I don't think it will clash with anything. That's nice. Kind of, is supposed to have, the Creed Aventus scent to it. Any of the platinum line of fine products. So. Ooh, that is nice. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Yes. Ooh. Hadn't used this in a minute, and I usually only use it with the platinum soap and aftershave and even some eau de toilette that I got from them. But it's also nice by itself and with certain other products. That's about it. I'm done. It's time for me to bomb out of here. But all of you, thank you. Welcome new subscribers. Thank all of you for your support. And hope you had a good holiday. May the rest of your year, your week, your days be good. Peace.